your upper ab is here. It's gonna look weird because it's like looks like I'm going like that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll turn sideways so you can kind of. You see that motion?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to hardly move to do that. Woo! Okay, my aunt, I want to switch over to classical all the way. But yeah, so woo, 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 woo. Very little movement. A lot of movement. Okay, I'm gonna start classical. So it's really slow. So you want to move the tongue before you pop the belt. Otherwise, you're gonna want to push from here instead of here.
So where are you moving your tongue?
I'm going from the classical.
Okay.
And then I put it in the right placement for that. And a lot of pop or musical theater that sing classical will do, they'll keep almost a similar placement still to their pop, but it will still dip more. There'll still be a little more of a dip versus the full dip for just classical. And then, but that way they are able to transition back into their which is more flat. And like another way to check it is your cat hiss. Yeah. It helps your tongue for some reason not dip like it does in classical. It helps it keep that, but it still gives it this type of movement, which it needs to. It just needs to not have this dip. This, it's okay if it moves this way a little bit. Anyways, okay, so let's try that again with you. And so even though it's the same note, normally it doesn't go in on the same note. You want to keep that consistent because you want your tone to stay consistent. But it does go in when you change from classical to belt, especially in this part where you belt, this part of your range where you belt. So it does go in on the same note. It's the only reason why it would go in more when you're just holding the same note is if you were switching on that note from classical to belt. Okay. So, and people rarely do it, but when people do it, even in pop culture stuff, it sounds phenomenal. Because it is so hard to master that. It really is. But if you start focusing on it, like we've already been working, a lot of the things I've been working on, I've already prepped you for it. That's why you're just naturally kind of doing it. The only problem is you're not staying consistent into your belt. You're like hitting the belt and then backing off into your classical.
Okay.
Or like that in between classical. Mm-hmm. And it is a mixed belt, but we want to keep it on the mixed belt, actual belt side. Okay. Yeah. 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 Good. I'm going to fill your abs. Good. Let's go. Now get in behind your nose and put more pressure. Almost. It's in between, but a little more bite to it. Yes, no.
Yes, no.
Almost, yeah. And your natural tendency is to do mixed, so it's literally, which is good. It is a mixed, but you're just slightly leaning on the classical side. Yes, no. Try
Is that what I did, or that's what you want me to do?
No, that's what you were doing. Yes, no.
Yes, no.
How are you today?
How are you today?
Day. Yeah, right there.
Day.
Yeah. Because, like I said, you're like right there. It was just a little leaning more into the more speechy rather than the classical. Like literally, you're on the line. That's good because when you're on the line, it's easier to go one way or the other. The only thing is if you're not used to like
But if I can't go the other, then if I can only go towards classical.
Well, you're hitting it. You just went to classical.
Yeah.
You're hitting it in the right one. You're just going classical. So yeah, the only thing is getting you to be able to either hear, see, or feel it. That's the real trick. So that you can tell when you're sliding into your classical versus And when it comes to mixed belt, it's mixed for a reason. Like, there is a classical tendency still there. Like, there's still your voice is still your voice, no matter what style.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, but it's the most flexible. So it's actually in a good position today. I just need to get you more on the speechy side there, which is what they do. And is a lot more work than. So it's just a little, it just will slightly more effort in your abs and just slightly more nasally because of how high up you are in your belt. But that's honestly, your voice sounds very talented at that. Okay, now let's come to midnight.
Okay, so as
Let's
belty
do it A.
as I can make it, or
Yeah, as belty as you can make it, and let's do it on A.
Okay.
Yeah, ready?
Okay. Oh, are you gonna do the introduction, or you
Nope.
we're starting right on?
Just
okay.
right on it.
Okay.
Nice. Now, what you did is you kept the nasality you needed for these upper belts or to here. So you will use the nasality, but this is still like here-ish on midnight. It's easy to support it with that much nasality, but you don't need as much nasality. So back off just a little on the nasality, just a little bit.
Okay.
For midnight, because I trained you up here. That whole exercise was up here.
Uh-huh.
Believe it or not, it
So
felt
makes a
like it
difference.
was
Okay.
here. Yeah,
Okay.
it does. It's just because you're right here, where we were training you, was above the second flip.
Uh-huh.
This one is right after the A, and the A is when you barely start touching your nasality.
Okay.
So right
Okay.
here, this is a little more than the A, but you're probably like right here to here, rather than full in.
Okay, so what should the belt be
So
lower if it's not nasal?
So I'm going to show you 3 instances. One without any nasality, which will be hard on my throat a little bit. With too much nasality, which won't hurt at all. It'll just sound funny. And then what I would consider a more appropriate amount. Ready? Okay, here's the classical. I mean, not classical, the
No nasal.
bad nose nasality. Midnight! Do you hear that? It's very yelly. Doesn't sound good. I managed to tone it down enough where it didn't hurt as much, but it could. Okay. Here's with too much nasality. My body doesn't even want to do it. It wants to save up for it. It wants to do it right. This is why I need to record it once so I don't have to do this again. I'll just bring this nasality down. Do you hear that? Not a sound from the pain. Do you hear how bad that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's too much nasality. Now I'm going to put the amount it's supposed to be. Now it's easy to go up here. Okay. So I'm sliding in and out of my placement because I don't practice. My voice doesn't like this place because I just haven't practiced it. Midnight, not a sound from the pavement, or somewhere around there. It's not perfectly placed, but.
Okay.
And also my nose, I'm really congested, and I can feel it even more when I get into my nose. So that's part of the reason why I'm tripping too. But did that sound a little bit better that time?
Yeah.
It still wasn't perfectly placed. So, anyways, right there. So right now you were just using this, and it's easy to see with that placement here. Like actually it works, but it's just super.
Well, I figured if I overdo it, then eventually I'll land where it should be.
Yeah. No, it's great because now I have to pull you back a little bit from that, which is good. That's a good sign. So, like I said, we'll go to the other extreme and then back off. So, okay. Go ahead and go to your extreme and then start backing off nasal. Now just do how you think would be the best amount of nasality. Yeah, and it's like back and forth on your classical to belt side. It's on both sides of that coin. And yeah, let's go ahead and keep it right there. Does that feel comfortable to you? Okay, let's go with it. Top and bottom. So pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're doing it again. Oh, second verse. On there. Good. Whine just slightly more. But she's whining now anyways. Nice. Classical for so long, you can go and kind of use the classical side of musical theater, or you can belt it. That's when you go okay, get really wide and go try that. Yeah, for the high note. Good, but on the way down, yeah, make sure to get out of your nose on the way down. So barely touching your nose, barely in your nose, but not really in your nose, not in your nose at all. A little bit, a lot. Doesn't that feel a lot better?
Okay.
And for your belt, it feels so much better. It's just annoying because new placement.
Okay.
So we never really worked on the belt placement. I've just had to do it classically.
Yeah.
Anyways, do
We
it again.
never did the belt on this. We haven't worked on this one for so long.
I know.
Yeah.
You're going to relearn it as a whole new piece.
A whole new piece. Techniques,
I
yeah.
know. Okay. Let's just slide it this whole time. Let's go. And just keep going through.
Okay.
And then right here it gets quite a bit higher. Someone more times. Oh, let me see. Am I playing in the right place? Nope. It's up here.
Yeah.
Now, you can belt this note. You can, but you can't belt that one. So you could go if you wanted to learn upper belt. This one actually you can belt. But it's right on the bridge of. You have to specifically choose to belt or not belt. Do you hear that? It has both tendencies. So I can go or do you hear that? Mm-hmm. So you can belt that. And what this placement does is it gets you really a lot easier set up for your upper classical, which is the. It almost preps you for whistle tone a little bit.
See, this is where, I mean, I could probably sing that, but I probably can't sing that very pretty. And then
also,
to go to here,
don't they go down too?
Some of them, I think some places they go down.
I love how my voice is warmed up on this though.
Yeah.
No, she does not sing it on this. Nobody sings on this. It's almost like they wrote it for a male voice in a way. So what happens here? Let's go ahead and keep this one higher.
Yes.
But when you hear this, don't switch over unless you want to do like a pretty descant. Which we could for a recording of you. We could have have that, and then the next time actually be words, or this one on this, and the next one on, you know. So that's also an option for when you go to record for you. But yeah, you definitely come down the octave. So, morning warning, someone dies in the street, and stays in morning. It'll be more reasonable. So that might be part of the awkward too.
Yeah. Okay. And here, octave
Still
lower.
down the octave.
Yeah.
Lower. Yeah. Most of the time when they write that, it's usually because they're writing it for a guy. For some reason, they write the guy parts an octave higher. But I'm sure for maybe potentially do it for altos. I don't know. And then it goes back to being written here. Yeah. And then it goes back to here. Street lamp dies. This one you actually could belt. So those, but you can go down. Street lamp dies another. But it's the ending, so you want to make it epic. So this would be a chance to go into your higher upper belt more appropriately. A street lamp dies, another night is over. And then right here, it would be appropriate to belt higher. We could go another, or you can go another day. You could do the switch there. If you want to do it like close to mixed belt. That's both, but it's still false. It goes not falsetto. Still head voice.
Okay, so you think still go up here? That's another place I'm like, okay,
so
do I switch to lower in an octave?
Yeah. So,
or stay right there where it's high?
Well, and everyone gets asked this. You know Mariah Carey? Mm-hmm. She mastered that transition. Mm-hmm. She like this was all the way up. And then sometimes she'd switch earlier, like the F or the G, and sometimes she would belt to what's in between. Oh my gosh, my tongue's like, what are you doing? I normally can hit this, obviously, normally. There you go. But you have to make some tongue adjustments. But she could do the whistle tone all the way up to here, like the high whistle tone, and then what that you're hearing is actually my whistle tone popping out from up here that I haven't worked on at all on my voice. I've trained other people's voices on it, but I haven't worked on my whistle tone past. This is the top of my range, but some of those notes you were hearing, like, were actually higher. So I have it. I just haven't trained it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think for here for sure. If you do keep it higher, switch into a just like an ah and just ah in classical. But this one I think should be down the octave, and then this next one. I think it would be cool for you to stay in belt. Because it kind of has this gradual build, you know, so it's like, and then it gets you ready for this launch into your upper belt, and then upper, and then it stays kind of just higher belt for a while, which this is the power pack part of the song anyways. But it would, then you can make decisions along here if you want to switch into classical here, or here. Mm-hmm. Well, you for sure have to switch there. But you could go. You would do the musical theater placement-ish with your tongue, but you don't want to go. I mean, you don't want to do a classical placement on it. You want to keep the musical theater spread. Yeah, if you do the classical, still keep the musical theater placement instead of the classical. Because if you're belting, it just would sound, I think, a little odd to go. Oh, I feel so good right now. Sorry, that distracted me. Okay, we don't want. We want the brighter sound for that if you switch. Okay. So it's just about making conscious choices and then training your tongue in place into it. What do you think? Where would you want to switch over to belt. I mean to classical from your belt. You want to switch right over on the G? Or do you want to wait till the very last note to do it? Or do you want to do it maybe a note sooner and like, you know.
Do you think I can belt the F?
With training, yeah. You already did up to the D today.
Yeah.
And that started getting easy for you. So it made this note really easy. We just had to, yeah. I'll go, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Oh no.
Yep, and if your abs are going way in, not enough. Yeah, that's getting the bite. Yeah. Oh, did you notice though that your support went down a little bit? Do that. Yeah, and on the lower note, it's okay if it goes a little bit. But yeah, do you feel that bite?
Mm-hmm.
So you're in the placement for it. So it could go either way for you. You might
Okay.
but I think it will be a natural transition either way for you.
Okay.
Like let's just scale it all the way up on via the belt, and just see where your voice naturally, if it wants to lean on the classical side or not. Like it did naturally lean on the classical, but then you fixed it, made it more belty by the even higher note. So,
Well, it's naturally going to go not belty. So.
but even if
I'm
it's
gonna
not
train
belty,
it.
yeah, even if it's not though, your tongue placement I think will still be good for it. So let's start here. Let's try the line. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, 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 yeah. And just keep going.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then you have to do classical. Yeah. Do you feel how it has to go to the classical around here? Yeah. So you did good at actually doing kind of in between both. It was kind of both. And it sounded fine. Did it feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like did anything hurt or feel
No.
straining? Yeah. It was fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess you could just do whatever comes out, or you could specifically just work on the extra bitey. I did hear you put some of the bitey in. It was kind of weaving in
I
and
was
out.
trying to do a bitey sound.
Yeah, it kind of weaved in and out, and it worked.
Okay.
Either way. So, okay. Well, let's hear you on the whole song then. Well, actually, let's hear you from this part on. Actually,
Okay.
and then we'll move on.
Words are just
Again, let's do memory again. Why did you do that? Maybe I should. Yeah.
lives again. Well, words are just
Whichever you feel like.
okay.
Too nasally for that.
Okay.
That one needs that one. So there, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want the pipe. You know what? That was so pretty though. Like you did switch to your classical, but it like actually like made you place it, so you sounded like you were like 20. Like you sounded really good. That sounded really good. Let's just hear you on ah there. And go ahead and switch to classical, or you can keep the musical theater placement if you want to, like the more wide if you want. Oh, you've associated pulling back in there with classical. Nope.
Okay.
Keep it forward even for classical.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little faster. Yeah, on that top note, take out some of the vibrato. Yeah, it's okay if natural vibrato pops in, but yeah, take out the vibrato. Good. Again. Now let's do 3 notes. Yeah, there's some natural vibrato that peaked out there. So don't try to specifically put vibrato because you've associated putting vibrato as that heavier, remember? And where your vibrato lined up a lot, I've noticed, and in a good way. Even though because we've been working on musical theater, it's actually helped your operatic voice sound actually healthier too.
You gave me a really good exercise that I think really helped my vibrato.
Which one? I need.
Well, I just took that one song and just sang it shaky all the time. You know, the whole vibrato thing just sang it just shaky, like and I think that really helped relax my vibrato a lot.
Awesome.
So
yeah, your
I think it
vibrato is
helped.
sounding so much healthier. Like literally the only time at all was when you just all of a sudden soaked it back. When you tried to do on this note has to be totally bright. You like sopranos that go like to darker sounds sometimes can't reach this. Sometimes unless it's natural to them. But if you want to reach this, even if it's not necessarily natural to your voice type, if you come really forward, a lot of women, not all probably, but a lot of women can hit this, even altos. It's insane. Like a lot of like contraltos, I think can, with a lot of training, can even come up to this G right here, and they're contraltos, you know. But I almost feel like contraltos could also come higher, you know. Like this is the highest I heard the last contralto that I was with go. But I really was curious because she gained like a whole like 5 notes over the year. More than 5 notes, but like a fifth. So 5 plus 3, 8. 8 notes over the year, over 1 year. So I was curious if she was gonna go higher. I wish I could have like watched her more before but I moved. But awesome. So this is a good training song for you, I think. It's like a hate-love relationship for you. Like I'm somewhat bored of it.
I'm not bored of it. I just felt I just didn't know
how to place it.
Yeah, how to place it, switching back and forth between an octave lower and how it was written.
And for this one, go down the octave. But if we do a recording, we can also have you go, you know, the high, beautiful, forward classical musical theater classical sound. We could even have you kind of do both. Have the other part be small, or have this be like an interlude or something. However you want to work that, because I think this also does that, and then you could put some of this if you do it in the right key. Yeah, so all down the octave, and then right here, use this as a way to train you from going from your eventually you want your whole range, low to high, to just, and you have a lot of your voice ironed out, like just the fact that you're able to jump down to these low notes so richly, beautifully, gorgeous. Then that makes it a lot more better. As the top notes are the only 2 that I'm not adjusting enough for. But you have to feel those adjustments. The widening of the tongue, or the low, especially if you're on your way down, less widening, or you know, depending on what style you're trying to do. This one I did what you would do for belts in the middle of it. Okay, awesome. I think that we're at about our 30. So let's just talk music for the last little bit. What songs we want to work on. Do you want to do all these for this month, record them at the end of the month, then move on to a new palette? Or do you want to keep some of them around for a while and then just only memory do?
I don't know if I'll be able to be ready to record all of them. I think let's focus on 2 that I can get ready.
Sounds good.
To really focus on to get ready to record. So let's go.
There's 3 that I kind of have tied.
Not that
I just
one.
want all of them. Like
No,
actually, I want that
and
one.
Beauty and the
Actually,
Beast. I
That's
don't.
such a cool one.
Yeah, but I haven't
Fallen in love with it.
fallen in love with that one.
Yeah, let's put that as a
Unexpected
later.
Song is a really good.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I for sure want.
I actually
to
recorded
record
that
again.
last time, I think.
Cool.
But Unexpected Song.
But we can
is
work
a
on
good
it and now that we've worked on our belt technique, you can also transplant that.
And
The
these,
same
I don't know
things.
if these are record worthy. Sweet Little Alice Blue Gown. That's
Uh-huh.
my fun one. I just like.
Yeah. No, that's a great one.
Memory.
And that one's more classical, right?
It's musical theater, but old. It's old musical theater. I think. I don't know. I would class.
Yeah. Well, did they sing it like this? I once had a gown, it was almost new. Or did they sing it like, I once had a gown, it was almost new.
Kind of like that, but not quite so operatic.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah. So classical.
Yeah.
This
But
is
they
the-
probably did it with a faster vibrato too.
Yes, because it's
Snow
like
White?
the Snow White thing. Yes. Yeah, most of the recordings are like that. Yes, that's how they do it. That's not how I sing it. And some of them go really slow, and I'm like, anyway, way too slow. But anyway, so and
Yeah, this would be a fun one. Do
Oh, and
you
there's
want to work on this one this week?
you know what
this,
I like it.
we could also start working on it next month too.
Yeah.
If you want to hyper focus on some of the songs.
It was the one we did. We have spent a lot of time on. I can't
On
see.
my own, I would really like to get you recorded on, so you can put it away and not feel like you have to sing it forever.
The Les Mis one.
Yeah.
Or that.
I want to record it so that it can kind of you
On
can
my
retire it a little bit.
On my own.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you can retire it, quote unquote, but people will request it of you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you start getting all known in any shape, way, or form as a singer, they will be like, ooh, I want to hear that one. Yeah. If they know that you sing it.
Maybe.
Mary's Lolo is so pretty, but we can work on that closer to Christmas too,
Yeah.
if you're around, like the October into November, because Christmas recordings should always be done by the middle of November.
That's not in here. What I'm looking for. Okay. It's On My Own and Unexpected Song that are,
Yeah,
I feel, are really good
yeah.
songs, but I think
Yeah.
are those the
On
ones
My
that are
Own,
recorded before?
Unexpected, and then Memory would be a good 3 to record this month. Because they're all the same kind of. You're working on the same things for all 3 of them basically. And
Think of Me. Think of Me was the other
Yeah,
one.
Think of Me would be a 4th one.
Time.
That one I would
but
be really
maybe-
good for helping sculpt your classical musical theater,
Mhm.
because you don't want to belt it at all.
I can't find it in there. I don't know if I took it out for
No,
some
it's at the
reason.
first.
Oh, it's the first one. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you're warmed up, I kind of want to hear you on this actually. Let's just sing through it,
Okay.
and I'm gonna skip it somewhere in the middle, but.
Think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. Remember me every so often. Promise me you'll try. On that day, that not so distant day, when you were far away and free. If you ever find a moment, spare a thought for me.
Okay, let's skip
I know something I really do need to work on that is expressiveness. I listened to a couple of recordings and I'm like, wow, I just sound so flat.
It's hard when you're working on technique too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's harder.
Yeah.
And you're an emotional person too. Like, as far as like, if you're thinking about the emotion, you'll put it into the song. But sometimes when you go into your emotional, you go back to your old habits. So I've kind of like not.
Yeah.
There's been once you get closer.
I
to
know I
performance,
haven't worked
bring
a
it
lot
out, but-
on it, but
You could.
I remember listening to a recording. I'm like,
Yeah.
sounds so
This one we for
unemotional.
sure will want to put emotion. So maybe we can have this song be the one we work emotion into a lot more.
Okay.
The other ones, as you get closer, like if you get more comfortable with the technique that we just went over, because all 3 of them technically need that technique.
Okay.
Except for On My Own, I think it doesn't go high enough to do it, but it's still similar technique. That's like On My Own would be like the prep, good warm up song for the other 2.
Okay.
But yeah, so train more on technique for at least the next week, maybe the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then we'll pack the emotion we'll be like really hardcore on the emotion.
Okay. All right.
Right, like a week before the recording.
Okay.
And then
So are we looking at recording the end of this month?
yeah.
Is that what you're thinking? Okay.
Yeah. And you can set that up with Walter too. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be me.
Okay.
If you just call our Melody Angel's number, or if you have his number already.
I think I might have it. I have his email.
Yeah.
At least,
I mean, I can set it up for you, but you can also
Okay.
just call him and set
All
it
right.
because I don't have to be there.
Okay.
Unless you want me there, obviously.
Okay.
So.
Alright.
But yeah, a little too much nasality, but I love the forward placement side of it, aspect of it. So if you
I
can
can
keep
tell the little
keep this,
nasally,
but
but-
just take out a little bit of the nasality.
Okay.
But let's keep going to this
Okay.
end part. This
Okay.
oh, sorry. We skip. I want to skip the raw. Shit.
Okay.
Flowers fade, the fruits of summer fade. They have their season, so do we. But please promise me that sometimes you will think. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh.
Much more. There you go. That was actually a lot looser than I thought it was going to be. Good job.
I haven't sung this for a while, but
Yeah, and so you killed it. Yeah, I would just work on it so that you feel comfortable on each note. Oh, oh, and go slow. Oh, and you can even do when you're practicing it, slide it. Oh, 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 oh. Because you need to practice it both ways, with the slides and without the slides.
okay.
Because with the slides trains your body to do the right amount of adjustment to each note
Okay.
smoothly without moving around. And then when you go to the then you need to think those transitions, think the slides, but you're getting there faster. It's like the slide happening really fast, you know?
Okay.
Then the other thing is mouth shape because you're in classical, which I wasn't doing. Especially that passaggio range, it's different. Bizarrely different from your musical theater. This one, you're gonna feel more slidey because the notes are closer together. But on the way up, remember how like when things go up for belt, it happens right here. Where it goes. Well, for classical, it starts a little higher. So you start getting
What starts a little higher?
where you put more and more support at a time, like the
Okay.
increment of support. It doesn't just say consistent. Even in classical, it's just more subtle when those changes happen. So for classical around your, it kind of starts here, but like D, E, that's when you start getting a little bit bigger jumps, but it's barely noticeable still. The bigger jumps where instead of if you were going into this pace before, then it's this pace a little bit, but like it's kind of in between. So it's very small, but you start tightening tighter a little faster starting here, but you'll not really feel it till like up here. So till about like the GA.
Okay.
But it does technically start happening here. And so sometimes that's where people fell short in their passaggio range, is because the adjustments are bigger than down here, but they're still not really noticeable to the average person. And until a lot of training, until about your upper head voice.
Okay.
So
So there's another version of this ending.
yeah, you can do that one if you want to do. That one. You can do that one too. Whichever one you want to do.
No, right? You
That's the
learned
one I
that.
do most often.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, this one though. If you swell with it, it'll be easier to do that. See, my body hasn't practiced this, so I didn't know how much air. So I kind of predicted it, but overestimated and then fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you go. It'll ring better. It's safer on your voice to do. So when
Practice sliding out. Okay.
when you have extreme jumps, it's a lot safer to practice sliding up first, so your body can get used to the feeling, and then pay attention to where it ends and where it started. Pay attention to those feelings, and then try to mimic it. And then when you go to sing, so that when you go, see, my body clicked and saved on there, so I was able to hit it. Or you can just, or you know, however you want to do that. You can even add trills on the way down too. Like, but I just do the, but you could do. My upper end now. My tongue.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, my tongue's not making the change from my upper whistle right now. My tongue's confused. Anyways, it's my tongue. My tongue's the issue. Yeah, my tongue's just a little confused because I've been working on so much belt lately, but I haven't really been working on classical with people. So,
Well, I'll work through these and pick 2, maybe 3 to record.
Yeah. So there's technically 4 we have on the platter here. There's Think of Me, On My Own, Unexpected Song, and Memory. If you have to pick 2 out of the 4, let's do Memories so that you can also like kind of, you know, it would be a song that I could see people also asking you to sing again, but that way you can get
that's the one I've worked the least on.
Yeah. Well, that's
so I
good
really have to hit that
fresh,
one a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I haven't. I mean, I learned it kind of, you know, but I didn't really.
Use On My Own
Pick
as
it
a
apart.
warm up. Use On My Own as a warm up, and for Unexpected Song, use Unexpected Song as a warm up for
Memory. Okay.
And then, or vice versa if it works better for you, whatever works best. And then you have to kind of switch gears for this song completely. So do you want to work on this song as well? Like just to help complement your classical side? It'll be the one that would be completely different from the other 3.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right.
You sound so great. But you can add all sorts of cool decorations to that and have your own diva moment.